buckled. Imagine if Bernie was on that stage and we are not this stage, but like if he had picked a real VP candidate, imagine if that was Nina Turner. Imagine what that would look like.
Yeah, she would have shredded him.
She would have cut him apart.
He would have been like, well, the Green New Deal. And instead of cowering and being like, I don't want to say I'm for a Green New Deal, she would have said, you're damn right I'm for a Green New Deal. Yeah. You're not. You don't want your children and grandchildren to have a freaking planet? What, you think we can pray our way out of this, you psycho? That's what she would have done.
Yeah,
she would have been more diplomatic, but
it's the other thing too. Why she's like, backing away from this is the centrist to always lose, because it's like that old quote: if you're going to vote for a Republican or a kind of a Republican, you're going to vote for the Republican. So, and this is why the hard left would so crush him, because it would be like, oh, give me a break. A Green New Deal is going to put every American to work. The way FDR put the country to work with the New Deal. That's what it's going to do. You're getting money from oil lobbies and fossil fuel companies and the coal industry and all that. You could have just called them. But Kamala can't do that because she gets money. The Democratic Party gets her money. Like when the one thing she said about we're going to end private prisons. I was like, wow, are you sure? Does the DNC know this? That you just
Did you take a focus group first? Because that's the only way you'll say it. Oh, and by the way, Mike Pence was able to use her record against her record as a prosecutor against her. And gee, I wonder how we could have prevented that. If only there was a primary where somebody got virtually no delegates, so there was a clue that maybe she shouldn't be given the VP spots.
I know. She didn't even make it to Iowa. And she's the VP? Like, wouldn't you pick somebody really strong in the VP slot?
When she said my home state of California, you could feel the state of California collectively sigh.
Yes.
You could feel, I guess, we know. Okay. We know you're here. Thanks.
Pence is such a lunatic looking guy. He can't physically smile. I think he believes smiling is a sin, like masturbation or something. And that's why he can't do it, because
Graham, you put on a spiky chastity belt and we'll see how much you're smiling. All right. Those things are painful and it goes right into his thigh.
I mean, it's just like, God, this guy's so beatable. He's so beatable. And the Trump plan is so beatable. When he goes, you want to roll back the Trump tax cuts? She's like, only on the you go, yeah, absolutely. Because your Trump tax cuts it was $1.5 trillion that you gave to billionaires. Those, yes, I absolutely want to roll those back. You don't go, no, sorry. He pushes you back on your heels and you stay back there and go, okay, no.
Yeah. Oh, and they were so easily, I mean, he was using Reaganomics. Which we all know has failed. All she had to do was just say, that's ridiculous. That tax cut only benefited the richest among the richest among us. That's what we're rolling back. Anywhere that wages have done better in this country has nothing to do with Trump's tax cuts and everything to do with living wage movements a la Samozuwant in Seattle happening across the country. So you want to talk about wages getting better a little bit on the micro level? That's why that has happened on a small scale, not because of your tax cuts. So let's talk living wages. Easy. She would have owned the debate. It's not better. Me and you can come up with this stuff. We were just watching it.
I know. You go, oh, what are you talking about? Instead of tax breaks for the billionaires like you and Trump have done, Pence, we're going to give people $15 an hour minimum wage. We're going to give people she kind of said free college in there. I was like, wow, did she go to Bernie's website? Where'd she find that? Like, no talk of Medicare for all.
No, healthcare at all didn't, other than the Affordable Care Act's bad, the Affordable Care Act's good. I mean, it's amazing that the right-wing health plan is not far right enough for the Republicans, but Democrats are still on board. I mean, wow. If
you went with a left, populist, progressive platform, you would crush these guys. You would crush them. She could look right into the camera and say, ladies and gentlemen, they have given tax breaks to the wealthy. They have given trillions of dollars in the CARES Act to Wall Street. And what I'm going to do, what we are going to do, what the president and I are going to do are help you out. But she really can't say that because the Democratic Party has signed off on these the $4.25 trillion in the CARES Act. Like, it's all been, the Democrats are complicit in all of this. So she really can't argue,
Well, know what else was, I'm sorry, go ahead.
And when he's like, we stand by our police, she kind of said some things, but she doesn't have a leg to stand on based on her record as attorney general and district attorney. Joe Biden doesn't have a leg to stand on because of the 94 crime bill. Again, you take a hard left, you show Pence and Trump as the fascists, as the ones that support the brutalization of cops. You support them. You not support, but you shine the light on and show how you are so drastically different. She just said we're kind of different, but we agree on we're not going to get rid of fracking, and like, it's unreal. It's just like,
you want to talk about that moment where the police brutality was brought up and Breonna Taylor was brought up. It's amazing that the Democratic establishment will weaponize identity politics for dishonest means whenever they're talking about the left. They'll use it against the left all day. But if ever there was a moment to kind of bring up identity politics in a genuine way and in a right way, she should have just full stop went, I'm sorry. We're talking Breonna Taylor. Did the old right-wing white guy from Indiana just have the nerve to say there's no racism in America and say that it hurts his feelings and it's disrespectful to imply that there's racism in this country? Well, guess what, Mikey P? There is racism in this freaking country. And if it makes you uncomfortable, do something about it as a leader instead of just passively accepting it or trying to pretend it's not there. And how dare you? How dare you tone police people that have been victims of this racist, oppressive system? If ever there was a time, because that's when, identity politics, just the concept is not bad. The way it's weaponized dishonestly is bad. So if ever there was a time to appropriately use it, that was a moment, and it didn't even cross her freaking mind. When he said
that, I was like, okay, here she goes. She's been waiting for this all night. She's going to slam dunk on him right now and say all the things that you just said. And she didn't. I was like, because she's a prosecutor. She's a cop. She's on the sides of the cops. I mean, she ultimately, she can't sit there and say, I want to defund the police. She's not going to say that. She can't do those things. And that's again, another just gaping flaw when everyone's like, yeah, we got Kamala. It's like, you picked someone that Tulsi Gabbard took out a year ago.
Mm-hmm.
She
shredded her
a year ago. And then this is what's happening. It was just like, Pence is just giving you just right across the plate, and you're just bunting. Like, you should have shelled that ball.
Just swinging and missing, bunting on a good pitch. It was, and then, you know what? Again, talking strictly debate standpoint here, whenever she skirted around something, which every politician in the history has done, Pence called her on it. He said, notice she didn't answer the question. He called it. When he was asked, when he was asked, would you ban abortion in Indiana, he started talking about the assassination of Soleimani. If ever there's, ladies and gentlemen, he was just asked, would you ban abortion? And he said, let me tell you why assassinations are dope. And it's great we took out Soleimani. Did he not hear the question? What planet is he freaking on? She didn't even say that. Like, she didn't say anything close to it. I remember, the Democratic Party has been very weak my entire lifetime. But, man, I remember when it was like Dick Cheney versus John Edwards, and again, not a fan of either, obviously. But whenever Dick Cheney would do that same thing, whenever they would ask him like a question like, hey, would you be an authoritarian lunatic in this situation? And he didn't want to just say yes, and he would skirt around it. John Edwards every single time would be like, that question was about jobs, right? And you heard what he just said. Okay. So it was subtle, but it was there. Right. Kamala Harris didn't even do that. She didn't even do that. She did nothing. She just let it go. I was like, are you present? Are you here tonight? Are you awake? Holy, I couldn't believe it. And I'm no Kamala Harris fan, far from it. But even I, from a debate standpoint, had higher expectations by that.
It was unbelievable. As A. Maris just said, shave your knuckles for justice. It was the battle of sober face versus snarky smirk, played by two imperialist cops. It was unbelievable. It was unbelievable, man.